Hello. Hi, guys. Hi, Frost. Hi, Juju. Hi, Taz. Hi, Dan. So, what's its face? But Unmasking came out today. Ooh, 31 months. That's really cool, Taz. Also, congratulations. Oh my god, what are these crowns? That's so interesting. So, for the Unmasking pod, we are actually like fully. So, we launched subscriptions on Unmasking and like channel subscriptions, and all of the proceeds from the subscriptions are going to go towards like gear for production and stuff so we can like evolve and whatever. And I'm currently in the process of developing like badges, like actually like super designed badges and stuff. And because Remma and I talk about matcha quite a bit, because, you know, Remma and I, matcha is a joke. Matcha delivery driver is a joke. When you watch the first episode, you'll get it. So we're gonna have like little emojis that are gonna say matcha therapy. And I'm currently trying to figure out how to unstrike my copyright from my newest video because I accidentally didn't add it to the safe list of sounds. And I don't understand where I'm supposed to find the license. Like WTF. You know? Oh. How am I? I'm good. How are you? How are you guys? I'm just like I got like a license strike or copyright strike on my video. On the latest Unmasking video because I forgot to add it to like a safe list of channels. One sec. Ah, thank you so much, Dan. Yeah. Aw. Thank you so much, Dan, and I'm sorry that I got distracted over here. I'm just submitting a dispute on the licensing of a song from our intro from Unmasking Pod because it just got a copyright strike and I actually have the license and it's so unfair. Sorry, Maeve, I didn't mean to disturb you. And thank you for the membership, Stan. That's very, very sweet of you. Well, so the episode, the first episode of season 2, we talk about the protests in Ukraine and like why they're happening, what's happening, like why people were so upset when this law came out, what the law is, and yada yada yada. So actually, if you do have questions, I'm happy to answer them in real time about like Ukraine and policy and the protests or whatever the heck, honestly, that you might want to like ask about. I'm happy to talk about Ukraine related. If you're new, if you're not new, then we can talk about anything. So yes, if you have questions, do ask me, and I'm happy to talk about them. Hi, iBag. Hi, Prexis. Hi, Neil. Hi, Y. Hi, Dean. Hi, Braith. Oh, hi, K-Bell. Yeah, I would like to hear all about that in short. Okay, so in short, there was a law. Okay, so I'll give you two versions of the story because there kind of are two versions of the story. So we woke up one morning and there was a law that was passed in the parliament that basically took independence away from the anti-corruption agencies that were formed as a result of Maidan. And we were like, WTF? And Zelensky was like, oh, they're corrupt, they're not doing things right, and like they have a lot of Russian influence, but like, why are you taking away their independence? So people went and started protesting because also like what it looked like is that they were dismantling the agencies altogether. It was just like overall a really bad situation, and like these agencies can't lose their independence because part of their task force is to investigate corruption within the high government. So like they can't be dependent and they can't be subservient to the prosecutor general because the prosecutor general works for the president, right? So like if the prosecutor general is the boss of these agencies that investigate corruption and the president is the boss of the prosecutor general, that's bad because they're no longer independent and they no longer can really do their job. Oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry. I just got a notification that Zelensky and Putin are set to meet on Turkish territory. And both countries apparently agreed to it. What? Wait. What? Zelensky and Putin meeting? "15 hours ago, Zelensky said there is movement towards some kind of format of meeting with Putin. And then 1 hour ago, the Washington Post said Russia rules out Putin-Zelensky meeting until end of peace talks. So the Kremlin expressed doubts over Zelensky-Putin meeting in the next 30 days is 9 hours ago from Kyiv Independent. But wait, what's the source from here? Hakan Fidan, okay. What the fuck? Yeah, wait, there is another channel is reporting in this. And this is according to Ministry of Foreign Affairs head of Turkey, Hakan Fidan. Hi, Animal. I don't understand. Indeed, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys, if you're just joining, where is this coming from? Your audio keeps cutting out. I don't know if my audio keeps cutting out or it's just me or I just stopped talking. It's because I'm like incredibly shook, to be honest. I can't like, I don't understand what's going on. Because, so, I just got a notification from 2 different Ukrainian Telegram channels that Zelensky and Putin are going to be meeting on the territory of Turkey. But it's only 2 channels that I'm reading this from. And their source is the head of foreign affairs of Turkey, Hakan Fidan, but I can't find it anywhere else. So let me see. Does he have a Twitter? Morning from Australia. Yes, I heard last week that such meeting is planned, but I don't remember if there was a named place and I thought it was a fake. No, so they were talking about this, but Russia has consistently been saying that they're ruling out this meeting until the end of peace talks, until something is reached. And there was literally like basically zero possibility for this meeting to happen. But also, like, this is such odd timing. Thank you, Dan. Thank you so much. This is very odd timing. So basically, when I received this notification, what we were talking about is like the protests that are happening in Ukraine and why they're happening. So what ended up, like, I'll restart it. So what ended up happening is one morning we woke up and there was a law being voted on that basically takes away independence from the anti-corruption organizations that were implemented and created as a direct result of the Revolution of Dignity. So naturally, people were like, "What the f?" So that law was voted on, and it was accepted. Like the law passed, or the bill passed, and was going to be signed into law by Zelensky. And we were hoping that he wouldn't sign it, but he went ahead and signed it. And we were already protesting by that point. So people were incredibly mad. And that sparked the protests. So what it turned out to be, at least according to the government, is that there was in fact a lot of Russian influence, and there were a lot of people in these agencies who were like taking money from Russia, who were like incredibly corrupt. So like investigating corruption when you're corrupt yourself is a really big deal, right? But, so they did in fact want to make this these organizations better, and they thought that the better way to do it would be to like sweep them under government control, which is like so bad. And so no one communicated that to the people. There was absolutely like no face-to-face happening between the government and the people on that matter. So the people are understandably like, no. And again, like, we don't want these agencies to not be independent, because while we're not necessarily like concerned about Zelensky abusing it, we are in fact concerned that this sets up a precedent for someone else to like, persecute political opponents or something like that. So it's just not good. It needs to be independent. So Zelensky was like, "We hear you, we see you, we understand your concerns. We're gonna draft a new law in the next 2 weeks, and we're gonna vote on it." And then he like showed it to the EU, and then he talked to the heads of all of these bureaus and the prosecutor general and all the other people, and apparently they're all making these steps together. But then in the aftermath of this, there has been a lot of like issues. We haven't seen the new bill yet. But there have been a lot of like issues coming out, because apparently the EU was figuring out how to bypass Hungary in like in order to move Ukraine up to the first cluster of negotiations for the EU. And then now that this happened, that is like no longer on the table anymore, and that might have like this sudden move by Zelensky and the government might have like backtracked Ukraine's membership for years. And there is obviously like there hasn't been any like direct communication on that. We don't necessarily know if that's the case, but like the EU was stupefied, and well, everyone was stupefied, because honestly, what the hell? And so it might cause a lot of problems for Ukraine, and it might like delay our negotiations for the EU. And yeah, I mean, it was just like, if they in fact wanted to make this law, better, and they in fact wanted to make like SOP and NABU better, then like they should have communicated it. You know what I'm saying? Like, like they should have been a lot more forthcoming with the people, because like, even if their intentions were good, the way that it came out was people were blindsided. And for us, like the existence of these bureaus and their independence is a very big deal, because during Yanukovych times, you all remember Yanukovych, don't you? Our terrible president that we impeached. He under him, these bureaus were not independent, and like they didn't exist, but similar structures did, and they were in fact under government's control. And he was using these organizations as his own sort of like, as his own little attack dogs to persecute his political opponents. So after the Revolution of Dignity, one of the biggest things that we insisted on is the creation of these bureaus and their independence. So when we woke up one day and that independence was taken away, it looked like we're backsliding. I believe Zelensky is in no rush to end the war and lose his political position. That's a wrongful belief because, first of all, there is no way to end the war unless Russia takes its troops out of Ukraine. Zelensky has no control over that. We can only fight back and we can defeat them. Both sides must be running out of troops. Yeah, because people are not endless. But the issue is that we were attacked. And it's like if we stop without defeating Russia, then Russia swallows us. And we're no longer a country. And we no longer have our own agency. But it's like if Russia stops, then they just stop losing people. And they can finally invest money into, like, I don't know, roads. You're kind of rude. Yeah, I am very rude to people who 3.5 years into the invasion come into my channel for the first time that I'm seeing them, and instead of actually asking reasonable questions, tell me that they think that my president is in no rush to end the war for his own benefit because he wants to continue being president. He doesn't want to continue being president. The man wants a beer and a vacation. Like, he looks 20 years older than he did 3.5 years ago, and that math ain't mathing if you know what I'm talking about, because he's fucking exhausted. He also has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and trust me, he's not enjoying it. He's not enjoying being president during wartime and dealing with this. Because no one would. It's not like he's in a cushy position where he's president of the country and gets to do whatever the fuck he wants. Like, the entire world's eyes are on him. Everybody judges and persecutes his every action and his every move and his every, like, turn and literally every sniff, okay? They call him a cocaine addict when he has a running nose, okay? Like, the man is literally in the worst position you can possibly be in. I disagree. Well, see, it's very easy to disagree with someone who is, like, actually in Ukraine, who also has knowledge of Ukrainian politics because I grew up in it. When you're sitting on your couch in a different country, having learned about Ukraine, best case scenario 3.5 years ago, worst case scenario recently. So yeah, it's really easy to disagree from a position of not knowing what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah. Please tell me how I'm rude. Please tell me how I'm a rude person for being intolerant to strangers coming in, not even saying hi, not even, like, introducing themselves, not asking questions from someone who literally lives here and understands the political dynamics inside of their own country. But instead of asking, they impose their very ignorant opinion on me. And then they're worried. Not worried. They're confused as to why I'm quote unquote rude. Well, Zelensky's not the best. Like, the thing is, you know, like, he's not the best president. Like, again, hi, United Europe. He has issues. Like, also, hi, Diane. I forgot to say hello if you're still here. I hope you are. He's not the best. He has, like, a lot of shortcomings. Like, for instance, I think he shines in foreign policy and foreign politics. But I don't think he's, like, that good in internal politics. Like, for instance, the reason why his rating was falling before the full-scale invasion started is because of his choices in domestic politics and domestic policy. So one of the reasons why he's been doing so well in the past 3.5 years is because there were very few domestic issues that he had to, like, tend to immediately. He's, yeah, like Grumpy is saying, he's a great wartime leader. He's fantastic at foreign relations. But in terms of domestic policy, like, he's not the best. And whoever comes after him is going to have to be much better and a lot more You know, he's gonna have to like basically have like a very different course of action. I think Zelensky, he has done great for what he has been given. Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Den, for another 5 memberships. That's very, very sweet, and I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure everyone who's receiving these memberships really appreciates it too. Hi, Kella. I agree with my fellow Canadian. Yeah, I mean, like, Zelensky is doing really, like, that's the thing, like, he's doing great because, like, his objective right now is mostly foreign policy, and his objective right now is mostly foreign relations, which, again, is his strong suit. Domestic policy is not necessarily his strongest suit, and that's what I'm saying. Like, once the war is over, we're obviously gonna elect someone else, and we're definitely gonna be looking for a person who's really good, who is really good at domestic policy, because that's just not his strongest suit. I mean, here's the thing. I will address some comments that are like upset with me, I suppose. A lot of the times when people say that I'm rude to them, they say that after like a rude question, after saying something misogynistic or lewd, or after making not assumptions or not voicing opinions, but after making statements about Ukrainian politics and Ukrainians and Ukraine, and trying to convince me of things in my own country. Which is like, sorry, my tolerance has gone down after like years and years of doing lives, you know? My tolerance for like ignorant questions, rude behavior, misogynistic assholes, and stuff like that has really gone down. You're arrogant, not rude. No, I'm not arrogant. Actually, like I'm really not an arrogant person. Like the last thing I am is arrogant. I am actually a very kind, understanding, and supporting human being. And if you asked literally people that I've met in person, and I mean like not even friends, but like generally people that I've met in person, they would all likely tell you that, with an exception of like, I don't know, some people that like just really don't like me. However, I am not arrogant to random trolls, and not like rude. I just like give you the energy you give me. Like if you walk in here with an entitlement and you walk in here talking down to me and teaching me and patronizing me, then you're just gonna get what you give. Like these things are so like, I find it so funny when like random trolls lecture me, or like random like people that I've never spoken to lecture me on how I'm like arrogant when they come in here being arrogant. And it's like, oh, guess you don't like when that's happening to you. I'm so sorry. Oh, hi, Deacon. Good to see you. If Zelensky resigns, Ukraine collapses. He's what every leader aspires to be, and they all look up to him and see him as their hero. He has all the great qualities of a hero. We're not asking for Zelensky to resign. We like, that's not the point of the protest. So like, I think propaganda had like a great field day with the protests, because they took these protests as against Zelensky and as against the government, but they were not like, not at no point did we chant anything like, oh, we want Zelensky out, or we want to take down the government, or we want to do this or that. We were protesting against the law, and the protests were from the very beginning to go back on the law. They were always to veto the law. So they legitimately never had anything, Heroyam Slava, Steven. They never had anything to do with trying to take down the government, trying to like take down Zelensky. It was always to roll back the law. Like it was never about anything related to like trying to take him down or saying that like we want a different president. Like we also know it's martial law. We know that he's going to be president, and we also don't want to cause ruckus, and we don't want to give Russia any more ammunition and any more, like, I don't know, reasons for their propaganda. And also someone was asking, can I get mine? Your what? Oh, hi, Walter. Oh, so many people here today that I've missed. I'm so happy to see all of you. They think the world revolves around them. Yeah, like always. I mean, and it's also always like the most random people too, you know? Like I'm happy to speak to everybody that is nice. I'm happy to speak to everyone who comes in with genuine questions. Like there were people that came in with a swarm of trolls like the other I think it was like a couple of weeks ago or maybe a month ago, and they were asking questions and they didn't know quite a few things, and some of their takes were quite like misled by Russia and media, right? And I wasn't rude to them because they were actually genuinely curious people who wanted to know. But if you come in here and you're an entitled asshole, like, yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna like give that back to you because that's how it works. Thank you, Dan. I'm actually planning a trip for either end of September or early October. And I'm planning on going to both the US and Canada. I don't feel comfortable commenting on another country's internal politics when there's stuff going on behind closed doors I don't understand. Yeah, that's like my thing, you know, like there were so many also like, so when these protests just started happening, a lot of channels, and I mean like Ukraine supporting channels that have been talking about Ukraine for the past like 3 years, right? But they are foreigners that haven't been to Ukraine, that do these like either military analysis or just like news compilations or whatever, like really good people, right? But they jumped on the subject and they started explaining like these laws and what it could be and why it could have happened this way and like blah blah blah. And I really didn't appreciate that because like they should have waited to hear from us, because when you don't necessarily live here or when you haven't been here or you haven't like necessarily been here, you haven't been like involved in understanding Ukrainian politics since 2014, it's really difficult to sort of comment on it because it traces way back to Maidan, right? And people's feelings are hard to grasp and stuff like that. I saw two opposite opinions from operator Starsky and Denis Davidov. So I know both of them personally. I like both of these guys. We're friends. Our international problems are oftentimes domestic. Thank you, Stephen, thank you for the super chat. And yes, I mean, I do agree with that, but, sorry, I just wanted to thank you immediately, but, let me backtrack to this for 1 second. Yes, I am okay, Tracy. Thank you for asking. But, so then this Davidov, I know both of them actually. I do quite a few, conversations with them, on my work channel. Like, I don't know, we discuss political things quite often, both with Denis and with operator Starsky. I think I know Starsky a little longer than I know Denis, and I've had a lot more in-depth conversations with Starsky. But Denis is a very lovely guy. We get along very well. He's like generally always very sweet to me, and like after we like record interviews, he asks me a bunch of like personal questions and makes sure I'm okay. So he's like a very sweet person. So operator Starsky, he is former military, he's former law enforcement. He has worked most of his life in positions that required like, I don't know, a lot of discipline and stuff. And while he's been on both sides of the fence, he has been with the people and he has also been with the law enforcement. So he partook in Maidan. I don't know if Denis did. I don't know if Denis was like directly participating in Maidan. I can't comment on that. But Starsky literally did. So I would say that like for Starsky, it's a lot more personal in a sense. And I tend to agree with Starsky's opinion on this situation more than I agree with Denis's. But Denis is like a lot more pragmatic and pessimistic in a lot of ways, while Starsky is a lot more optimistic, but also pragmatic, I guess. So they're just like, I think like it's good to take both of their opinions and like find a middle ground, you know, because they're both like very smart, educated people who have a lot of opinions to share. Can you explain the policies that you were protesting? Because we are curious. Yes, I did. I did just explain it recently. I hope you get to go. I will, one second, Walter. God, what was I talking about? Give me one sec. Oh, can you explain the policies? I just did. We actually like spent quite a long time talking about it, but like TLDR, there are two agencies. One is called SAP and one is called NABU. They're at National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, and SAP is oh fuck. Sorry. One second. I need to check what this air raid is about. Okay. I think it's drones. Okay, so there are two bureaus. One is called like National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, and the other one is I keep forgetting like what its acronym stands for, but basically one investigates corruption in general and the other one investigates corruption at high levels. And they were independent, and these bureaus were a direct result of the Revolution of Dignity protests and like the impeachment on Yanukovych, who was using similar structures for political persecution of his like opponents and stuff like that. So these bureaus were created specifically to weed out all of the corruption that Yanukovych like brought to this country, because there was like a lot to clean up. There were a lot of people that were still embedded in the government that like were left over from his time. Anyways, like there was a lot to work on. So these agencies are efficient, but they're not efficient enough because there were a lot of people that got away with a lot of stuff. A lot of them are sitting happily and cushily in the country since 2014. Well, now way less of them because the SBU started catching them in 2022. And like they were taking Russian money, they were driving like expensive cars, they had like really good lifestyles, and obviously they were incredibly corrupt. And so I know that it's Grumpy, I know the acronyms, I just don't remember what SAPO stands for. So basically like these were the organizations. And so one morning we wake up and there is a law that's being fast-tracked and it's being voted on it's being fast-tracked and it's being voted on in order to make these agencies not independent like they were, but dependent from the prosecutor general, who's dependent from the president. Now, with no context, no communication with the public, no warning, nothing like that, what it sounds like is that you are taking the legacy of Maidan and you are taking something that we fought really hard to have and you're cutting it out and you were like slapping the Maidan revolution in the face, right? So people went out to protest. While we were protesting, Zelensky signed the law. People continued protesting and people continued doing people continued standing in the street and voicing their opinions. So later, Zelensky came out and said, listen, we hear you. we see all of your posts on social media, we hear the political opinion, we hear all of the people, we hear all of your concerns, here's what's happening. We're actually all meeting, all of the heads of all of the bureaus, of the investigation bureaus, and the prosecutor general's office, and then like a lot of other people in the government. They're all meeting and they're all coming up with a strategy to do this best. So then the government actually started communicating, and they were like, listen, there are lots of issues within these organizations. There's lots of Russian influence. There are lots of like sleeper agents. There are lots of people that take Russian money. There is basically a lot happening, and they're not doing their job properly, so something has to be done. It's just the way that they went about it without communicating their plans to the people, without warning us, and making this organization not independent. Like, I see what they were trying to do, but that's just not the way to do it. And they should have communicated it way better. So now people are going to continue protesting until this new law that Zelensky is working on is released to the public and is voted on, and until we actually hear a concrete plan from the government on how to enforce these changes and how to make these organizations work more efficiently. So for now, what we do know from this new draft law is that they are going to stay independent, and that there is going to be like polygraphs every 2 years for every employees. Дякую. Every like so there's going to be polygraphs from done to every employee, and sorry, God, ADHD. So every employee is going to have to take a polygraph test every 2 years, and the employees that already work there are going to have to take their first polygraph within 6 months of the implementation of the law, and they're going to be polygraphed on the subject of like Russia and like their relationship with Russia and stuff like that. While I don't necessarily take polygraph tests seriously, I mean, I guess it's like it's a good thing. Ozzy, that's so cool. 19 months. Yay! And also, thank you, Steven, again. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you like the gays and you like the stuff that I do there. Thank you, Dan. ADHD brain fog, very much so. Very, very much so. I wonder if you guys... So I'm going to make this announcement again. So Unmasking Podcast, my podcast, that's like a political commentary podcast, but it's in a very casual sort of like atmosphere on my couch where we like talk politics as if you're sitting in a coffee shop with a friend and just like discussing things. So it's like a very non-imposing, very chill way to discuss all the horrors that are happening in the world. So it's called Unmasking Podcast. It's on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple, anywhere like iHeartRadio, whatever, anywhere you listen to podcasts. And we wrapped up season 1 like a month and a half or 2 months ago. And we just released season 2 with a new host. And I'm actually freaking out because normally you guys comment a lot on our videos, and we get feedback about our episodes and like what you liked or disliked or questions and stuff. And there is like not a single comment on those videos. And I'm kind of like, are you hating it? Are you not liking the new direction that the podcast is going in? Like, are you not happy with it? Like, what's happening? I'm sorry, I'm not like trying to make you like go write positive stuff, but I just really enjoy it when the conversation is I think one of the things that I love about that podcast is that there are lots of people leaving like long comments and their actual opinions, and like it feels like a conversation, and it's just like I was kind of like, no one has anything to say. Remma, the Lithuanian medic. Yeah, she's great. Like, I love her. So Remma has been my friend for like the last year and something. And when Masha decided not to stay for season 2, which like she's so Masha is likely not gonna come back full time, really. at all, because she's likely moving in August within Ukraine, but far away. She is like, I can't say some things because it just, like, she hasn't shared them yet, so I can't really like put that out there, right? But she's like, she has a lot going on, nothing bad, but like she has a lot going on. So she's likely gonna, however, appear in season 2 as a guest host once, or at least once, but maybe twice. And she's gonna like pop in here and there. So Masha is not like fully leaving, but she's also not gonna be a full-time host. And when Masha decided that she's not doing season 2, like my first thought was to have Remma as a host, because like she is as close of a friend to me as Masha is, and I absolutely love like our banter and our dynamic and stuff. But Remma is a combat medic, which means that she is usually on the battlefield for like 3 months, and then she comes back for maybe a month. Not always. So she was not here for the entirety of season 1. It was also her like first deployment. And now she came back and she is here for a month. And so we are recording as many episodes as humanly possible. So this season is not necessarily tied to like events that are happening now. It's tied to more so like general stuff, but like very but still very relevant to everything that's happening in the world. Is just not like week by week, right? Because we record 2 episodes a week, not 1. So we can like record at least 8 before she leaves. Then we'll record 1 or 2 with Masha, and then Remma is gonna come back because she'll have some stuff to do in Kyiv, and we'll record another 2. But yeah, we're like really, I really didn't want this podcast. Like, one of the things that happened is I promised you guys that it would be back in like 2 to 3 weeks, right? But then it was really difficult to sort of get it together. It was really difficult to start filming again. And I didn't want the podcast to come back just to come back. Why you say Remma, not Remma? I say Remma. Because, yes, she is Lithuanian, Taz, and her name is Lithuanian, but, like, she's also American. So Remma is how she calls herself. I don't say Remma, I say Remma. But yeah, so basically, like, I didn't want to, like, bring the podcast back just to bring it back. I wanted it to be good, and I wanted it to have, like, the same feel and like the same energy, and I wanted the banter to be good, and I wanted like the co-host to be like a magnetic person. I wanted it to be like alive, and I wanted it to be like the best thing that it could be, right? And actually, so I said before, but like I did launch memberships on the podcast channel as well, and there is going to be extra content on there, and there is also going to be like you're going to be getting episodes earlier if you subscribe to the membership, because that the memberships from the podcast fund like the production of the podcast. And one of the things that I'm going to release is I'm going to release an episode that didn't make it to the public. It's with a different host, and I want to get your opinions on it, and the topics are good, but it's sort of like basically the difference between kind of why I chose to wait for Remma instead of just like launching, immediately, or launching in time, because I just wanted to like make sure that the product is going to be the best that it can be. Because I don't know, I love this podcast. I love talking about issues in a manner that's chill and relaxed and kind of like conversational, rather than, just serious recorded videos. Whenever I'm in Kyiv and you guys need a special guest, you know who to call. Yeah, I mean, hey, we do prioritize women. And right now we don't have the capacity to have a third person because we need another camera and another microphone and a bigger couch. Getting the perspective of someone who spends a lot of time in the battlefield is a good move. Yeah, and especially because like Remma is such a well-rounded person. Like, she has a degree in political science. She is a combat, not even medic, she's a combat paramedic. She's like a highly skilled individual. She's also a very like upbeat, funny person. Honestly, like I keep calling her the final boss of quotable one-liners because it's so true. She like sometimes says stuff and it's so funny. I mean, like she says she turns random things or random curse words or like I don't even know, just like things that you never thought someone can twist into like a hilarious statement. She does that. Like for instance, our new tagline on unmasking is bitching is cheaper than therapy, and that's Remma. Remma did that. Also, today was the first time, actually, Taz, today was the first time that I heard Remma speak Lithuanian, and I know this woman for over a year. Her mom called her, and her mom was like in a bad mood, and she was kind of like picking fights for no reason. And Remma started like responding to her in Lithuanian, and I was like, oh, I've never heard you speak Lithuanian. This is so cool. No, Remma is Zooritis. And hi, Travis. Good to see you. Getting the perspective. Wait, whenever I'm in Kyiv, just PU say. I say tomato. Yeah. And Dan, thank you again for all of the memberships. Honestly, that's so sweet of you. I've always favored bitching over therapy. I mean, listen, therapy is probably a lot more productive, but like bitching is so much better. You know, so much better. Was it angry Lithuanian? No, it was not angry per se. It was like exasperated Lithuanian. You know, she was just like kept trying to explain to her mom that she's like taking it out on her, right? Like in a sense, because like her mom was just like in a bad mood, and Remma was like, "But I didn't do anything, you know, just like relax, like, you know, breathe in, breathe out, get a sweet treat or something." So it was kind of like exasperated Lithuanian. What did I miss? Bitching is therapy, like the old saying, trouble shared, trouble halved. Yeah, that's true. I mean, like, that's why we like, that's why we complain to our friends, right? Because, like, in a sense, it is like a form of therapy. And also, in a lot of the cases, our friends are very helpful to understanding our problems and to like helping us solve these problems, helping us understand where like these, you know, thoughts are coming from and stuff like that. So I think, like, to be honest, bitching is very healthy in a lot of cases. But yeah, Remma delivered a couple of very quotable one-liners from a different episode we recorded. There is a Prada luggage under her eyes. She's gonna have bags under her eyes. They better be designer. And what in the Reese's peanut butter fuck is this? There's like a lot. She's just, you guys, like, I crack up so much when when we are recording these episodes because she's just so funny. And also a really cool thing that we want to do. We are going to actually record an episode where Remma is gonna do, well, fingers crossed, where Remma is gonna do a TacMad course, or like basics of like first aid and first response. She's gonna show people how to use tourniquets. She's gonna show people how to like basically like do the basics, and it's gonna be like a very well filmed TacMad course. And I don't know where, yes. I don't know where yet, but we are going to release these as like a one-time payment video, and all of the proceeds from that video, from that course, are going to go to like buying tourniquets and buying like yeah, like necessities for basically for frontline medicine. So we're gonna do that at some point, and I thought it was like such a great idea. Thank you, Dan. And Remma is your... You went to Vilnius and Remma is your co-host. You are another 2 steps away from becoming an honorary Lithuanian. Aw. It's all about philosophical debate, though. They will do what they have to do and what they will. Huh. Dan is on a roll tonight. Yeah, Dan is really, really gifting a lot of memberships, and it's very, very, very sweet. Like, very, very sweet. Thank you so much. I would love to visit Latvia or Lithuania. I would love to visit Latvia and Estonia. Lithuania was very lovely. Latvia and Estonia are next. Oh my God, Dan. That is very much on a roll. Thank you so much. Estonia is a dream. Yeah, Estonia is like one of the techiest countries, apparently. Oh my God. Hi, Brandy. And Dan, thank you again. Thank you so much. Tallinn is so beautiful. Yeah, Tallinn is gorgeous. I've seen like pictures of Tallinn. It looks so good. I love the Forest Brothers song from Estonia. I don't know what that is. Interesting. Russia has no tomorrow. I hope so, but they keep, they're kind of like zombies. They keep crawling out of the mud and existing. What the fuck? I came here partially for Dan, honestly. I have been here before, Dan, you're very nice. I think you have done your part for at least 2 streams in the future. Yeah, Dan really did. Dan is very lovely, and Dan is very generous with these memberships, and I think everyone here is very, very grateful for their memberships to Dan. Dan the man does sound very funny because it rhymes. Sorry, I'm also I'm also checking like the air raid just in case. And southern Latvia, beautiful countryside and beer. Yeah, I can imagine. Wait, Dad's sister. The ferry ride to Finland is worth the trip. Huh. I do have a phone mic, actually. I just haven't plugged it in because, I don't know. I mean, I can. Actually. Oh, thank you, Dan. Thank you. That's very sweet. You can come for food tourism to make proof of address when I get back and... Oh, I can't... Yeah, I can imagine. Well, your mom's... Okay, I'm back. You can come for food tourism. You know how hard. Yeah, okay. How has your week been? It's actually been a pretty good week. So I'm no longer a single mom of 3 dogs. I have actually not been walking dogs for 6 hours a day, and as you can tell, I have a lot more energy. But I miss my boyfriend's dog. I'm so used to seeing him every day, the dog, not the boyfriend. And but on the other hand, like, I've actually had a lot more time on my hands recently. So well, not like, it's not like I have all this free time, but but yeah, I don't no longer have to walk 3 dogs. I just need to walk my two in one location. So at least there is that. And that's been very helpful that I don't need to do that. But yeah. Wait, okay. Give me 1 second. Ah! Oh my god. Okay. 1 sec. Here, hear me. Because I did plug in the mic and it should work. But who knows? Also, I mean, like, okay, maybe this is better. This is probably much better. Okay. Hi, Annette. Oh my god, so many people I haven't seen in a while. How have the dogs been, Yulia? Oh, they're doing fantastic. They always do fantastic. Hi, Roy. You sound far off. I've missed so much. 3 dogs and a boyfriend too. Yeah, Diane, it's been a minute. So I have 2 French bulldogs, Cinny and Maeve, and my boyfriend of, I don't know how long we have been together at this point. I'm very muffled. How about now? Well, how about now? So yeah, there are 2 French bulldogs that are my bulldogs, Cinny and Maeve. And then there is, so there is Cinny and Maeve. Maeve is an adorable little munchkin. She is a 1 and something years old. She was actually born with a 4-day difference from Cinny, but Cinny is 4 years older. Okay, good. So caught up on that. Next part, there is Vatra, who is my boyfriend's dog. He's a lovely mutt who was rescued from the Mokakhovka. I will show you his. Have I shown you him, you guys? He's adorable. He's such a good boyo. Okay, this is him. He's a bigger doggo. And so my boyfriend was away to see his family for a family matter and for a wedding and for another family matter for like 2 weeks. Well, actually 16 days in total. And our dog walker slash dog sitter quit like a couple of weeks before my boyfriend had to go on this trip. And his dog is like, not just everyone can walk the dog because he has like reactivity issues with other male dogs. Anyways, like need time to adjust and stuff. So I was the only person who was able to walk him. And the thing is, he's like deathly terrified of my French bulldogs. He's like 10 times the size of each bulldog, but he's deathly terrified of them, which is okay. I mean, like, I know they're a lot. So he lives at my boyfriend's place, and I over here live with my dogs, right? Also, sometimes my dogs are at Remma's or at my downstairs neighbors, and then I go and spend the night with his dog because the dog is scared of explosions and like blah blah blah. So so I had to walk my dogs, then drive to him and walk him. And I had to do that 3 times a day for 16 days. Um Also, during that period of time, so the reason why I say that that I walked dogs for 6 hours a day every day is because my boyfriend lives, mm, like, technically, if it's not peak hour, he lives 10 to 12 minutes away from me by car. But we also happen to live at these point A and point B that is like, in order to get to him or to me, from him or from me, you have to take this road that is like the absolute worst place during peak hour. And I mean, like, it is the most trafficked, it is the most trafficky area ever. Like, the worst. Literally, all of my friends that I was telling, like everyone who lives in Kyiv that I told, like, from where to where I had to go every day, they were like, this is terrible. Because this is like, it's kind of like if you had to go from 42nd and 12th to 42nd and 1st, peak hour, 3 times a day in peak hours. I'm not going to say what street, but my boyfriend lives near, like, near Khrushchev, and I live near the circus. And I have to take Borosteyski Prospect every day, 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. So an hour of that was just commuting, a 10-minute route otherwise. And then the other hour would be walking dogs. And that's X3 every day. So yeah. But I feel like every single person who's like, who's been here before, just knows exactly how it just knows exactly all of my pain, because I've complained about having to walk dogs all day every day for so long. But it's okay. I do love all the dogs. All of them are amazing. Oh, Dominic, good night. So it's basically like DMV traffic. 2 miles can take you 2 hours at the wrong time. Yes. Yes. Like, Kyiv is kind of like that sometimes. Like, sometimes you literally, because like it's similar to DC in a sense, where like you have some very, very like wide roads with lots of lanes, and they get so swamped. Oh, Dan, thank you so much again. Oh, thank you, Dan. In Earn? Dan Smith, you're mad. Well, that's very kind. Thank you, Dan. Oh my god, so many. The cool thing about randomized memberships is that, like, it's always, well, sometimes it's the same people, but a lot of times it's like new people, different people getting these memberships, and it's really cool. I feel you. I literally spent half of my life in traffic. Yeah, that's it's been me. Did the two dogs eventually get accustomed to each other? So my dogs are very accustomed to each other. Cinny and Alex's dog get along pretty well because Cinny is chill, and Cinny is a chill dog, and Vatra is, a chill dog. Maeve, Maeve is a crackhead. Like, that dog acts like she does lines of cocaine. Okay. So Vatra is terrified of her because every time she sees him, she just starts like squealing, and I don't even know how to explain it, but she's like ready to break out of her collar and jump on him, and he like really doesn't like that because he's not a very, like, he's, like, he values his personal space. And so I actually stayed with him and Cinny in my boyfriend's apartment, and they were totally fine because they both like did their own things and didn't, like, bother each other too much. Maeve, however, Maeve is different. My demon dog. She is a bit demonic, but it's okay. We love her anyway. Thank you, Dan, again for all of the memberships. Yeah, of course I do. The dog, Taz, the dog that I ended up fostering and then finding a family for because her and Cinny were killing each other because they weren't getting along. Yes, of course I know everything about her. I stay in touch with 1 second. I'm blanking here. I stay in touch with her owner. Her she has a fantastic life. She went fishing recently, which I found so funny. So like she's doing fantastic. Like I actually check in on them all on her all the time, and I'm like in touch with the couple that adopted her. She has a great life. She has people around her all the time. She gets pets. She's like so chubby because she gets treats. Like this is her fishing. Well, I mean, she's not fishing, but she went on a fishing trip with her human. Oh, wait. Another video started like automatically playing. But yeah, so she has a great life. I'm very happy for her. I always like check in when I'm in Lviv. I buy her treats and like give treats to her human to like pass along to her. She's like doing great and I'm very happy. Like honestly, I think like I'm very happy that she ended up where she did. And I think that like I had to come to her life in order for her to find this family. And she's like so happy, honestly. There are people around all the time. They have a cat too. And like she gets along with the cat swimmingly because it's not a dog and she doesn't feel threatened. They like play. um she's just doing so well. I'm so happy for her, honestly. Like she's just like she has a huge family. There are like his parents and her parents, they all live very close to each other in the same city, like just outside of Lviv. So they all see each other all the time. Like she's the dog is never home alone. She has like plenty of outdoor space. She's like very active. She has a great life. I'm very happy for her, honestly. Yeah. So yeah. So it wasn't like a thing where like, I found her a family and like effed off. I like keep up with them all the time. I like want to know how she's doing. Yeah, she's such a sweet pup. She just needs to be a single child. That's all it is. She's not meant to be with other dogs. And she's so funny too. She's like a chubs, so she's like din 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 din. I don't know how to explain it, but like all of the videos of her running are so funny. She like looks like a little piggy. She's adorable. But yeah, she's doing very well. Cindy is a princess. Oh my god, Dan. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, Cat. Oh my god, hi. Yeah, Frenchies are really good dogs. Dan, seriously, thank you so much. That is so incredibly sweet of you. Oh, hi, Lilia. Good to see you. Nice to meet you. Here for the first time due to an ongoing error alert in Kyiv that woke me up. Well, yeah, it didn't wake me up. I mean, I'm awake uh, because of my at my own volition. But I'm also looking at I'm also like monitoring the error rate, and I don't want to go to sleep necessarily until it's over because this one's a ballistic one. So. Oh. Yeah, so there is like it targeted Dnipro, Kharkiv, and Kamienska. So yeah, the French bulldog wobble when they walk is funny. Yeah, yes, very much so. They look like piglets. I am like, what is it like? I don't know if I have pictures on this phone of how they sleep, but they literally look like little piggies. They're so cute. No, I have like a video of how they see difference between Maeve and Cinny. So this is Cinny going on a walk, and this is Maeve going on a walk. They're all good. Taz, like they're doing well. I mean, my aunt has like a situation. Her basement in her apartment building collapsed because it's an old apartment building, and I mean like actually collapsed. I don't know how to I don't know how to show you this, but technically the city should be. Oh, so like this. Welcome to Lviv. You know. Yeah. Da 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 da. So yeah, the building is somehow still standing, which is a miracle. Yeah, real bad. Yeah, they did have to evacuate everybody, but also like, God, like Lviv, like council services are so bad. They arrived there, they turned off the electricity in the building, and we're like, okay, it's no longer in in an emergency state, and we're like, what do you mean? It's still in an emergency state. It's just now if it collapses, it's not also gonna ignite. Mm. They like turned off gas and electricity. Mm. Wait, my friend. Is it a cockroach? Oh my god, wait. My friend just messaged me. He's in Kyiv. He's going to the US for 2 weeks tomorrow. He's American. Oh my god. Okay, well, you drama queen. My friend just sent me this and said that he's gonna burn the apartment down. That's like not a that's a tiny spider. It's tiny. Nothing a little duct tape can't handle. Yeah, with the basement. Stop because I would scream. No. No. Not worth it. Dan. Oh, thank you. Also, oh my God, Lila, see, uh, welcome to the channel. You also immediately got gifted a membership on your first time coming here. Oh, also, you guys, some of you left comments on the podcast, and it's so sweet. Thank you for doing that because I do actually love when you do that, and I'm gonna go read them. But also, I mentioned Labubu on the podcast as like a joke, but also like, where do you live? Okay, you're over there. Um, oh, you guys, I have a Labubu. Okay. you know. So just so you know, I'm that person, and I have a labubu. And you know how everyone gets like really upset when they get those like earth tone labubus and they want like colorful and cool ones. So naturally, you know me and my beige. I didn't charge my mic, obviously. Who would have thought? Kathleen! Oh my god, hello! Hi! So good to see you. It's been so long. But yeah, you know, everyone gets upset when they get those like you know, I guess not fun colored labubus, and I wanted a not fun colored labubu. So I have like the pinkest one, however. How am I? I am good. My podcast just launched for season 2 today, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited about that, and I really hope that you guys actually like it when when you get to watching it. And I would love your feedback on the podcast because I don't know, I was very worried about it because it's a new host. It's been a while, you know. I was like, are people even interested in it anymore? Do people still want to watch it and stuff? Um, yeah, but I'm doing good. I also, I also, what did I also? Uh, God, I also, oh yeah, I'm finally not walking all the dogs, which I was walking for a while. And I was walking my boyfriend's dog and my dogs. Boyfriend came back, so I'm now, you know, not doing that, which is good. Tomorrow is my day of sleeping in and absorbing the weekend. And yeah, yeah. Tomorrow I'm gonna rest, hopefully. I'm so happy that people commented on the podcast. Oh. Yeah. My podcast is called Unmasking Pod. So Taz just shared 2 responses above